fucking okay. Please, please work. Why? Why you do this? Okay, it's doing it now. Perfect. All right. Hello, my name's Kaylee, and this is my presentation for the comic strip, Beyond Good Intentions, Communicating with Awareness. Let's get started. So this is the comic I chose. A couple is sitting in a restaurant and they are signing to one another. The waitress notices, verbally asks, "What's with the flopping hands?" To which the wife responds that her husband's deaf and they're using sign language. She immediately says, "Oh, I have the perfect thing for you guys." Comes back with Braille menus. And when the wife says that they're Braille, she says, "I know, isn't that cool?" Um, So this leads me to start with self-awareness, being more self-aware. There's this article that I really enjoyed, Autism and the Discrimination Against Deaf People by Anna Galla, where she quotes a commonly used discriminatory words or saying, um, tone deaf. Usually this expression is used when people don't read the room well or when an action is inappropriate for the situation. It reinforces the idea that deaf people are ignorant or unaware of what's happening around them, which isn't true. Reading this article and seeing this definition kind of felt ironic when comparing it to the comic because it can be turned around on the hearing person, on the waitress in the comic. She was not reading the room well. She was behaving out of ignorance by saying floppy hands and giving them braille menus, just overall not being helpful. So, why this comic? There we go. I feel that this comic is important to raise awareness for deaf culture because it shows the misconceptions that people make when they're not aware and just challenges assumptions. It exposes well-meaning but misinformed behavior. Don't assume that you understand. Instead, ask how you can be helpful and take the time to understand someone else's needs. And it overall encourages education, how to act, what to ask to be helpful. Some common misconceptions that I saw that were important in the comic would be all forms of accessibility are interchangeable, meaning tools or accommodations for one group are helpful for everyone. Comic example would be the waitress thinks Braille menus will assist people using sign language, when in reality, different communities have different needs. Sign language is strange or not a real language, meaning, oh, well, this is shown with the waitress calling sign flopping hands, suggesting that it's a bit silly or strange, which is showing a lack of respect and understanding for sign, when in reality, ASL is a fully developed language. Another one would be being helpful does not require understanding, meaning good intentions are enough to be helpful. The waitress wants to help, but her assumptions lead her to not be helpful and kind of delivering a slightly absurd outcome. The reality, effective inclusions require learning, asking, and listening, not just guessing. And the last one would be everyone who communicates differently needs assistance, meaning people who are not communicating with their voices need help. The comic shows this by the waitress assuming that the couple needs assistance even though they're communicating just fine. The reality, people who sign are perfectly able to navigate the world, they just speak a different language. Doing better. There's this quote in an article that I was reading by Landy Kay called Deaf Dining, where they said, through providing accommodations such as interpretation services, discriminatory acts by restaurant employees will decrease, and a bridge between the hearing and deaf communities can be created that will benefit both communities. I thought that quote was important, followed by a lot of interesting stories coming from this article where lawsuits had to be made so that restaurants treated deaf customers better, and even shared some stories about deaf restaurants coming into existence just to give a more comfy, safe environment for people to eat in. This leads to the importance, once again, of this comic and being aware because it raises awareness for sign language, it challenges assumptions, encourages respect for diverse communication styles, and shows the importance of listening before you act. Here are my sources that I used. Can't cover the little cat. And thank you. Okay. Let me out. Bye.